RFU, without you, there wouldn't be rubber under this pitch for the players to bounce off. Thank you to the RFU. And of course, a massive thanks to the Football Foundation and the FA, who without this, it couldn't have happened. If I've left anybody out, I certainly apologise, but I think I've covered most. In fact, there is one other thing. The people of Uckfield who donated, when we were collecting on Luxford Field and at other places, they put in their hand in their pocket and they contributed. So thank you so much to them, because without them, this pitch wouldn't be here.
Now, we've got a nice birthday cake here, which you can sample, and eat some bits and pieces in the corner. But Joe, whilst we've got your important presence here, and I know you haven't been training this morning, you are, without embarrassing you, one of the youngest ever Premier League captains to be appointed at the age of 24. And I think that's a marvellous accolade to you, not only as a player, but also to take over from someone like Chris Robshaw, captain of England. No doubt you may have aspirations to captain your country one day. As a loose head prop. Before I get Joe to talk, just let it be known that already he's earned over 100 Harlequin caps and 22 England caps, and he's only 24. Now Joe, talking about the all-weather pitch, what's been your experience, say, playing a match against Saracens and then going back to, say, Harlequins? Is there a big difference in your play?
Yeah, hello everyone, thank you for having me. Thank you for embarrassing me, that was kind of you. But yeah, the all-weather pitch, I prefer all natural, that's my personal opinion, but the experience I've had at both Sarries and down at Brighton has been great, and it enables a fast game. Unfortunately for the fatties in the team, it's not great, but everyone else seems to rave about it. But I think it's fantastic because the weather then doesn't affect, you know, kids going out to train on it, us playing on it at the weekend and stuff like that. So I think there's a place for it in the sport, and it's great that you guys have got it here.
I know that talking to the ground staff at Twickenham, that's like a hybrid pitch, isn't it? So there's like halfway house, but in fact it does guarantee a much better game even at international level. Now I know you're a proud father. How old is your son?
He's five and a half months.
Oh,
yeah, he's 5.5.
5.5 months. And I guess it's a gimme that he'll be inducted into the Oval Ball game, will he?
No. He could do what he wants. If he wants to play rugby, he can play rugby. But I was always a football fan growing up, and it wasn't until I was 12 when I really started carrying some extra weight that they said, you're not very good at football. You should probably go and play rugby. So that's how it happened, and you know, I am very proud, and he can do what he wants.
Lovely. What's his name, by the way?
Jasper.
Jasper, not after Jasper Carrot.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, can we sort of finish off by you giving us a brief experience of a particular funny experience on tour, or something which sticks out in your memory, which you say never again?
Unfortunately, no. The trouble is there's a lot of kids here, and the majority of the rugby players here and guys involved in rugby know that what happens on tour stays very much on tour, so I can't help you out with that. But yes, I've won the crowd. But yeah, I'd just like to say thank you for having me here today. It's a great facility, and I'm not going to prolong you guys from getting on it now, so you know, crack on and enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
Been our minute taker for the last 5 years. Very, very punctual and very, very accurate minute taker, and he's kept us in order. Can you tell us, Uckfield Town Council, why is an investment in this project so important?
Well, it's always difficult when you come to spend money because you're not going to please everyone with whatever you do. But, you know, this is a small town, but to my mind it's a pretty fantastic small town. But we've moved from being a village with the sort of facilities they would have to where, you know, we've got 250 kids at Grasshoppers. The Uckfield Rugby Club, you know, they are significant size. And we had to take the next step and get things. Grass pitches, well, we've got very good ones, but we needed something that could be used all year round and something where you can actually improve people's capability. And even if you're looking at older people like myself, you know, we would far rather play on a nice, flat, level surface. So the all-weather pitch just meant that we could actually achieve something by working with others, and that's really what we were trying to do.
Of Ricks and Kay, a local firm of solicitors, but they've spread their wings all over Sussex, and I think possibly London as well, is it?
And Alan was very kind to offer Ricks and Kay the opportunities of taking on the naming rights for this ground for 12 months. And Ricks and Kay are delighted today to be able to announce that we are the ground sponsors. Again, just part of the community and putting something back in, but putting something back in, frankly, to something I love in that sport.
I think there may be a secretarial typo there, because I think I screwed him down to 3 years. But we'll discuss that in the bar later. I think Bruce would now like to introduce us to a soccer VIP who I haven't met before, and he's a very close friend of Bruce's.
Oh, thanks again. I'm delighted that Dick Knight from Brighton and Hove Albion has come along today to support the opening of this community project. Dick is obviously incredibly well known for his involvement in Brighton and Hove Albion itself and is now the life president. But one of Dick's great passions is community football, disability football, and Ricks and Kay were involved with the Brighton and Hove Albion disability football project for some years, and I'd really like to introduce Dick, who will give an insight into the importance to community sport.
Excuse me. Afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me here, Bruce and Alan. I'm absolutely staggered by this facility. Alan, I think, said it took only 5 years. I mean, 5 years is nothing. Those of you who know anything about the Albion history in the last 15 years, it took us 14 years to get a new ground at the Amex after our, leaving the Goldstone ground, the old ground. So 5 years is nothing, Alan, to get a sports facility. But like the Amex, this is well worth it. It's brilliant. And I'm, as Bruce touched on, the thing about sport is that it reaches people in a way that politicians, they just cannot get anywhere near the power of sport to help people, to help disadvantaged people, to reach them in all sorts of ways. When I took over the Albion, I decided to develop the Albion in the community, which was my way of saying we're going to give something back to the community of Sussex, not just of Brighton and Hove, who helped save the Albion. And so we have in Albion in the community today, we have, of course, we have football coaching, and our coaches do football coaching on this pitch, but that's only, you'd expect that of a professional football club. But we do education, we do social inclusion, we do disability coaching opportunities, we have apprentices, disabled apprentices working in the Amex. We're giving people a whole range of opportunities through the power of sport. And what you've got here is a perfect example. Hugh mentioned about, this whole, the driving force behind this facility, was community. And it's very clear to me, with all of you gathered round, that, that is actually working. Now, there's some young people in front of me who've been very quiet at the moment, So, gentlemen in front, can you just move aside, please? Now, I want to talk to the boys who are in the Grasshoppers and the boys in Uckfield, and the ladies, the girls, in Uckfield Rugby Club, juniors and colts. Now, hands up anyone who started out in Grasshoppers and went to rugby. Anyone? And hands up anyone in rugby who went to the Grasshoppers. Right, now there's very few people that switch sports, which I think is brilliant because it just shows how vibrant sport is in this country. You know, we've got Joe behind us, who's a living legend, a mountain of a legend in rugby. Now, I don't think, Joe, do you ever play football? The point is that it's the power of sport, and what you've got here is a brilliant facility. Well done, everyone, for making it happen, and I look forward to coming on the 5th anniversary of this to see how well it's gone. Thank you very much, everybody.